Hello and welcome to glennzb TV, the show that puts glennzb into your virtual headset. Yes, I'm bringing New Zealand. That doesn't really... There we go. To the world, and the world to New Zealand. And so hot off the back. Whoops. Hot off the back. Here we go. Everything's out of control this morning. Hot off the back of yesterday's, me not wanting to hear anything about Donald Trump's penis. This morning, it sounds like everybody's penis is under threat. And your boobs as well. Because we have student doctors performing sensitive exams without patient consent. University of Auckland student doctors performing examinations like breast and genitalia checkups. And this was one of those stories where I felt like the newsroom were just going into needlessly explicit details about people's having their genitals checked, sometimes while unconscious, mysteriously, by students. And I think really, surely the approach for that sort of thing is just to put our heads in the sand and pretend that it's not happening. We have a German triathlete who's been banned from an all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant because all he could eat, that's him there, that's probably not the sushi from that restaurant. It's just a picture of sushi, I think. It may not even be him. I don't know. But it's the kind of person he looks... It's a weird choice of eyewear, I thought. Anyway... let's not get distracted. Let's stick to the story. So he went to the sushi restaurant and ate. It's $26 all you can eat sushi. 3 bits of sushi on a plate. He did 100 plates. That's 300 bits of sushi. I reckon I could do that. I feel like sushi's the kind of thing I've never ever got to the end of my sushi and thought, oh, I couldn't eat another piece of sushi. That's never ever happened. I reckon it's the kind of thing that you can just... It's like popcorn. You can just keep eating it and eating it and eating it. And that's obviously what he thought. And even if it's not true, probably if you're a high-performing triathlete, maybe you need to eat that much sushi just to fuel up, just to carbo load. Pretty good. I've never understood why people would do a triathlon, but if that's one of the spin-offs that you get to eat or you can eat sushi... Anyway, what was my point? Oh yeah, you can't ban people for eating all they can eat when you've advertised that it's all you can eat. That was my point. I also feel like 3 pieces of sushi per plate isn't enough per plate. And I can see how things can get confused there. I'm a bit worried about the accountants. This is not the first time I've heard this, but apparently the days of traditional accountants are numbered because, that's right, this is actually a Robot Apocalypse update. They are going to be the first ones up against the wall when the robots come. Apparently, accounting is one of the easiest things for robots to do. Luckily, video TV shows, one of the hardest things for robots to do. So I'm safe for a little bit longer. But anyway, so obviously what's going to happen is we're going to have a whole lot of out-of-work accountants just wandering around in their 3-piece pinstripe suits, not knowing what to do with themselves. And so my suggestion is... we all get issued a crossbow and we hunt them to the death. It's a radical suggestion, but I just thought it would be quite fun chasing accountants through the streets. I don't know why. It's a weird thing to think, but it's probably not a good idea. It was just an idea. And finally, this from our increasingly popular word of the day, pays to enrich your word power segment. American... scientists say they've learned something about the evolution of social behaviour by feeding ecstasy to octopuses. And at that point I say, stop right there! Because, and the people were talking about this on our radio station this morning, newsreaders were talking about it, hosts were talking about it, and they were all saying octopuses. And I'm saying to myself, it's not octopuses, it's octopi. We all know it's octopi. Aha! Or do we? So I looked it up, and it turns out, octopi... objectionable. It's actually a common misconception. Octopuses is permissible, but it's actually supposed to be octopodes. That's what we're supposed to say. I've never heard that before. And I consider myself a relatively well-read, made-up television host. Octopodes is what we're supposed... So anyway, the point is, not that scientists have been feeding ecstasy to octopodes, which seems like a weird thing to do, but they should have said octopodes and not octopuses. Anyway, an octopus has 9 brains. So the effect of ecstasy is exacerbated, maybe, and it made them very happy and cuddly. So I don't think we've learned a lot from the octopodes on that one, other than the fact that they are octopodes. Strange sort of Glenn ZB TV today. No real change there. I am Glenn ZB. Thank you so much for having me in your virtual headset. See you back here again on Monday.